Hi guys, I just want to make an update. So this is the new inverter that I got. It's a hybrid inverter. All in one. It does charging. It does charge from the grid, and it also feed the extra power from the solar panels back to the grid, and is limited by a city clamp. As you can see, I have the white one there. That's for the inverter. Those other two clamps are for my main power meter. I just have it in there. I just want to let people know that this inverter does not use the power from the battery to export to the grid. It would just use the excess power from the solar panels. As of right now, I having an issue with the MPPT charger on the inverter. So if I go into the voltage, as you can see, today is a cloudy day, it's not much power, and it's around like 3 o'clock. But as you can see, I get good voltage coming in, but I keep trying to reach the highest point on the tracking, but it pulls so much current that then it drops the voltage, and then the voltage falls below the MPPT range. The MPPT on this inverter supposedly starts at 90 volts, and so what I have been doing is, because it has a maximum PV output, so if you go to the if you go to the menu right here, so I have it set on battery because I don't want my batteries to be charged from the grid, because my whole idea on this system is to get to storage as much solar power as I can, and then use it at night when I come back from work, because during the day I'm not here, my consumption is not that much. So having the solar inverter push that back to the grid, and I don't have a net meter, it just gonna cost me money, because they're gonna charge me for the extra power that I'm sending back. So I'd rather store all that energy, charge up my battery while using, even so that this inverter does that, but since does the export, but since it only does it when there is enough solar, I just have these two. I got this one for like $50 each. They are both 500 watts inverter. A lot of bad reviews on Amazon, but I've been using them for 3 years already, and that's what I do. I have this cable coming out of here. It's wired as a 240 volts, but what I'm doing is I have an outlet there, and I'm using each of the cable on a different phase, and then by not combining them to get to 40, I'm just using each one as a 120, and then I share the neutral. And yeah, you can share the neutral since they're both on opposite phase, 180 degrees out of phase. The neutral only carries the difference on the consumption for both lines. So yeah, so that way I have input or output, depending on how you want to use it, for each side of the electrical panel. So that way, if something happens, I can just turn off the grid completely. And I have AC out that I'm not using, but I can just connect the cable there and feed the power directly back to the panel. Yeah, I will need to move this right here, and then get one of those locking devices that you have to have this off in order to turn on the other one. But yeah, that's the main idea, and I'm still working on it. But yeah, that's how I'm using this inverter right now. I have it disconnected because since I have an issue with the charging, I don't have enough power. But I will connect each one of them on a different outlet here. So the one on the right are one phase, and the one on the left are a different phase. So when I connect one on each side, I'm feeding power back to the gray. But since I have these clamps here and this device, and they both connect to the Truja app and or Smart Life app, and I can use this reading to throttle the output of the inverter, so I can make this inverter work 20%, 30% to match the consumption of the power that I'm using. And I've been doing that for over a year, and it has been working pretty good. I just wanted to have a truly backup power so I can use an inverter in case the grid goes down. So this gives me the ability to use the inverter in case that the grid goes down, because these two inverter won't work if the grid is down. But in here in the output, the grid is down. If the grid is down, I can power anything out of there through the power bank. So it's a good feature to have. These are the parameters for this inverter. This is a 3.6 kilowatt inverter. You can connect up to 6 of them in parallel. So you have all these connections right here. So back to what I was explaining here for the MPPT track. So I have it on battery since I don't want to charge from the grid. I already said that. So let me just battery. And this is solar only for charging. And this is my overall for altogether charging amps. So from the grid and from the PV input, when all of those combine, it won't exceed 25 volts. I have it to 25 amps. I have it to at 25 because in case I want to charge something, but I'm not really using that feature. But the one that I wanted to show you is this one. So I have it right now at 0. It's not really a 0, it's because I'm using the power I'm using the Smart Value app to change this. But in here it will only display 0, 5, 10, 15. It will only go in increments of 5. So if you have a 3, a 4, it won't show here. So right now it's set at 3 amps because it's cloudy, and this is the issue with the MPPT. Even so, this only set at 3 amps. In here, if we go to the battery, so it will try to always reach the 3 amps in here. If it can't reach those 3 amps here going to the battery, it keeps trying, and then it drops the PV voltage so much that it goes outside of the range of the MPPT charger. So I don't know if it is a firmware issue or if it just damaged. So I just ordered another one of these to compare the two of them. So if one of them If the other one is working and this one still have the same issue, then I would guess it's a issue with this inverter. But if both of them exhibit the same issue, then I know this is by design, because like if I have enough power, I can set that set point to 15 amps, and that's 15 amp going to the battery, not 15 amp coming from the PV to the inverter, and it will sustain it. But in a true MPPT, what you will have is 15 amp is the maximum, but if you can get 2 amps out of it, you zero at 2 amps. But this is not doing that. If you can't reach the maximum amperage allow, it will just keep trying and dropping the voltage, keep trying. It won't zero at a specific voltage on its own. So, and that's the issue that I'm having. Yeah, but I'm just gonna show you guys this inverter and how I have this set up. So far so good. Bye.